It's a Sunday morning, beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like these, kids. I was so amazed by his website that I was wishing I could have a website like this. Most of my friends have a website of their own. So after seeing another one, I was so motivated that I decided to create my own website within 3 days of time. Now after my adrenaline rush was over, I realized I don't know how to create a website as I do not have any experience with web development. So I did what everyone else would have done. I went for the treasure hunt, searching anything that could be helpful for my web development process. During the hunt, I found out that all these websites are built on the three basic structures. First is HTML. It acts as a backbone for all the websites. Think of it as a skeleton of a body. The second is CSS. It defines all the crazy styles in your websites. Think of it like the makeup and the skin of your website. Without it, your website would look like this. And the last one is JS. It adds dynamic functionality to your website, allowing for interactive features, like what happens when you press a button. Think of it like a brain and muscles of your body. Now, even if these three are the base for each website, it is generally not recommended to use them as it is. We generally use something called frameworks. They are a pre-made collection of tools, libraries, and rules that helps us to develop software more easily and reliably. For example, Tailwind CSS is a framework that makes managing CSS much easier and you don't have to write any class name or any CSS styles. It also provides some UI templates that can be helpful to learn how it works. To manage our code better, we have frameworks like React, Angular, and Vue. All these use reusable, self-contained components to manage UI and logic. That means we divide our page into components and then use those components to construct the web page. React also has its own framework, Next.js, which focuses on performance, SEO, and more. Now, all these above is considered as front-end stuff. On the backend side, we have Node.js, which allows us to run JavaScript outside the browser with its own runtime environment. In Node.js, we have libraries like Express and Mongoose for managing the API handling and the MongoDB database. There's also a backend framework called Next.js, which builds on Express to provide modular, scalable structure for writing server-side code. When we combine these tools, we get something called a tech stack. For example, Munchstack, MongoDB, Express, React, Node.js. But I decided that I will be using Nest.js and Next.js in this stack. The next day, I was searching for some design inspirations and I found some really good websites for getting design inspirations. Here in Discord, I liked how they make the cards and I like the black starting section in the Next.js website. Also in my friend's website, I like the top bar of the site, and in my other friend's website, I like the footer style. Now after deciding my totally original website design, I was ready for setting up all the things required for building a website. First, I installed the VS Code editor to write my code. Next, I need to install the Node.js. But the problem is sometimes you need one version of Node, sometimes another. So I installed the Node version manager for Windows. That will help me to easily switch the Node version in my system. Next, I installed Git for Windows to manage the versions of my project and create a GitHub account for managing my projects. Now in the VS Code, I set up the initial Next.js project and run it. And I can see the template website in my localhost. Next day, I tried modifying the original template code, but after some tinkering, I made this web page. Yeah, and after watching this page, I know I have to learn some CSS, as this is not going any far with this type of website. So I stopped tinkering with the code for the time being and started learning the Next.js and Tailwind CSS from their official website. I spent a lot of time learning this. For a lot of time, I mean the whole day. So 3 days have already passed and I still don't have the website I really want. In the last day, I simplified the things I want to make for my website. First, I created my main page, which will be shown when opening the website. It has my logo at top left and the links to the different sections for the website at the top right. I also write my name as the center of website with my quote below. Next, I created two hollow sections, one for about page, one for contact page, and choose different colors for different sections. I also added drop shadows to all the sections so they will look like if they are one over another. Now the about section feels empty, so I added a quote from me there and made it like a card with a transparent background. In the contact section, I made a card with a subject and message input field with a send button and make all the input fields required. After that, I want to add some footer to my website, so I created the footer and also wrote a simple message there. Now the website looks good, but when clicking on the links, the page was not scrolling smooth as in my friend's case. So I totally did not inspect his website and found a property called scroll smooth. After implementing this into my website, the links now scrolling my website smoothly. I also added a note form page if someone navigate to a link that was not available. Now I was happy with my website and the only thing I need is to host my website. In the readme section of the project, they gave instructions to how to deploy the project. So I found out that you can easily deploy your website in Vercel as a hobby tier. By the way, Vercel is the same company that created Next.js. So I signed up in Vercel with my GitHub account and import my project and click deploy. It automatically built the project without any problem. It gave me a link where it deployed my website. Now the website is looking good, but I don't like this thing above here as I want to host my website on a custom domain. So I go for searching a domain with my name. And to my surprise, I didn't know my name was so premium. I mean, look at the cost. I could get a gaming laptop at that price. Also, there was a domain with .in extension, but it was already bought by someone. I don't know why it was showing for purchase. So I brainstormed some other domain names. Also, my friend recommended me to buy the domain from Namecheap. So I go to that website and at the end I decided to use mscode.in. It was not very costly and can define what the website is about. In Vercel, I added my custom domain and it asked me to add some records in my DNS settings. After adding the records, I was just waiting for my website to be live. It's about to be midnight, but the website is live now. In the future, I was thinking of adding other sections as well, which I have not implemented yet. But that's for the future. For now, I need some rest.